Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and over the past year, I've actually been doing an experiment when it comes to my credit score, meaning that back in June, my credit score was around 624, and yes, I was still telling people like, hey, your credit score works like this and like that. However, if they knew what my credit score was, they'll be like, hey, I'm not gonna take advice from you, your credit score is so low. But back then, I was doing an experiment to see how I can manipulate my credit score to go down and to also go up, and that's why today, April 1st, and by the way, this is not an April Fool's joke. Today, my credit score is around 755, right there and then. And if you guys don't know, that's a little bit over 100 plus points in less than a year, which is pretty good if you ask me. And that's why in this video, I'm going to tell you guys step by step what I did and also what I learned when it comes to how to raise your credit score so fast in a little bit of time. And by the way, guys, I will be making more videos on your credit score, best credit cards, unsecured credit cards, secure credit cards. So if you want to find out more about all those topics, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified, because again, I also do post videos every single day. And don't forget to also smash the like button, okay? Now, the first thing that I learned when it comes to your credit score, guys, is exactly what your credit score is made out of, okay? Now, for example, if a teacher gave you a test and this test had 100 questions and you were like, okay, I don't know any of these questions, your credit score, I don't know how it works, but I do have a cheat sheet that Tommy gave me with all the answers to these questions, and this way you know exactly how and what the answers are. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to give you guys here for the first part of this video. Okay, so here's exactly how your credit score is broken down into sections. Now, if you guys don't know, your credit score is made out of 6 different sections. Now, the very first thing that I want you guys to do is go ahead and make a Credit Karma account or an Equifax account or a TransUnion account. It doesn't matter. I use Credit Karma. By the way, some people say I Credit Sesame. I just use Credit Karma because that's what I found first, and it works the best for me, and it's very simple, and it's also free. By the way, I'm not affiliated. I won't get paid if you sign up, and I have a link down below, but it's not affiliated whatsoever. It's just what I use, and I love the product, so why wouldn't I tell you guys about it? Okay, now once you have Credit Karma, sign up, do everything, and that way you know right now what your credit score is, and you can set a goal to what your credit score might be or you want it to be in around a year or so. Now, once you have Credit Karma, you'll notice very fast that whenever you sign in, it'll tell you the first thing is your credit score. Now, once you see that, all you have to do is literally click on it, and once you click on it, well, it'll load up an entire screen with the factors that make your credit score exactly what it is, okay? Now, just so you guys can see here, okay? Last year, literally on June, my credit score was around 624. Right there, you can see it. So I'm not making this up, okay? My credit score was 624 and now it's 755 in less than a year. But that's not what's important here. What's important is exactly what your credit score is made out of. Now, you guys can't see this obviously, so I'm gonna take a screenshot right now and I'm gonna pop it up right here on the side of the screen. Now, when it comes to your credit score, there are 6 different factors that make your credit score either go up or make it go down. And once you know this, you basically have the cheat sheet to how to make your credit score go up very fast or make it go down very fast also. Now, there are pros to having a very high credit score, but there also are pros to having a very low credit score. And I will tell you exactly why my credit score was so low back in the days, like around 8 months ago or so, okay? Now, the very first part of your credit score is going to be your payment history. Now, on my credit score, my payment history is 100%. Tommy, why is this so important? Well, say for example, I'm a credit card and you miss your payments. Well, that shows me that I can't trust you when it comes to making your payments on time. And if you don't make them on time, that means I'm not gonna get paid the money that I lent you. So that's like the worst thing possible when it comes to your credit card. And on top of that, credit cards are snitches. So what they do is whenever you miss a payment, they go ahead and report it to your credit score, and now everyone knows that you miss payments. So you don't want to ever miss a payment, and if you do, by the way, missing payments is around 35% of your credit score. So you want to make sure you don't miss any payments whatsoever. And by the way, Although my credit score shows 100%, I have missed payments in the past by accident, and all I did was I called in and I said like, hey, I missed this payment, but as you guys can see, it was a mistake. I've never missed a payment before. Can you guys erase that or give me a break for the first time? And then boom, bada bam, boom, and you're good to go. Because again, they don't really want to lower your credit score because you won't qualify for other loans and other credit increases. So as soon as you say like, hey, can you guys give me a break here? They'll say yes, unless you're delinquent and you've been doing this a lot. They'll be like, okay, no, you did this like last month too, and you're calling it again. So no. Now, the second part of your credit score is actually your credit card utilization. So right now, my credit card utilization is around 4%. Now, if you don't know what this is, everyone thinks, especially my mom, that whenever you get a credit card, what you want to do is max it out and then just pay it off over time around 12 months or 24 months or even 5 years. Just pay it off step by step and then your credit score will increase and then boom, you're good to go, clap, clap. But in reality, that's basically a rumor. It's not true, and it only benefits your credit card. Your credit card utilization basically means how much money of your credit card are you using compared to how much money they gave you. In English, that means that if I gave you $1,000 and you're using $100, then you're using around 10% of the credit I gave you. So if you want the best score, what you basically want to do is keep it below 20%. And a little secret here is, guys, when my credit score went down, okay, to around 624, my utilization was actually around like 80 to 90%. And that's why my credit score took a huge dip. And on top of that, this entire factor right here accounts for around 30% of your entire credit score. On top of that, thirdly, you also have derogatory marks. Tommy, what is this? Sounds kind of weird, okay? What is it in English, okay? The answer is, this is like the boogeyman to credit cards. What do you mean here? Well, I mean that, you know, whenever it comes to someone lending you money, whenever they hear, hey, this guy has a derogatory mark, they're like, okay, just say no. We don't even want to hear it. I don't want to get involved, okay? And that's basically because when you talk about derogatory marks, you're talking about, well, bankruptcies, charge-offs, collections, all things that scream this guy is not a good debt repayer. Although you might be good at taking debt, you might not be the best of actually repaying debt. And usually it takes around 7 years to clear up any mishaps that you had that actually affected your credit score this bad. So you want to make sure you avoid all this stuff. And if you don't know how to remove, for example, well, you can't remove a bankruptcy, but if you don't know how to go out there and remove, for example, a charge off or collections, I have a video, I'm gonna link it down below, and that way you know exactly how to get it done step by step, okay? Now, on top of that, you also have age of credit, total accounts, and hard increase. Now, I won't really go into basically like, oh my gosh, like full detail on this, because again, it is very medium impact and low impact, and also low impact, not a big deal. When it comes to age of credit, it basically means, well, how long have you had credit for? And that's basically it. So you can't really avoid this. And although it says 2 years and 11 months, in reality, I've been using my credit cards for the past like 4 years. But every time you get a new credit line, a new credit card introduced, well, that actually diminishes how long your credit history is actually been for, because they do a formula where it divide things up and basically it shortens the amount of credit history you have. So before you apply for a credit card, always think about how is it going to affect my credit history. On top of that, by the way, if you are less than 18 years old, ask your parent to make you an authorized user, and that way you can start building your credit score very early on. I didn't have that, but if you can't do it, go ahead and get it done. And if you're a parent yourself, then do that for your kid. It's called an authorized user. Then you have total accounts. By the way, that basically means like how many credit cards you have, how many loans you have. And when it comes to mine, I have, for example, credit card debt. I have student loan debt, and that's basically it. But what you want to have is basically a mix of a lot of different loans, and that shows the companies like, hey, this guy or this girl or this kid is so responsible. They can handle credit card debt, mortgages, student loans, and even like their car loans. So awesome, they're good to go. So you want to have a healthy mix, and that's basically what it means. And on top of that, you have hard increase. Every time you apply for a new credit card, a new loan, they hit you with a hard increase, because basically they go ahead and research your credit score and be like, okay, so you have this, this, and this, and whenever they pull it, that gives you a hard increase, and it affects you by around 2 points, but it comes off around every 24 months or so. So not that much of a big deal. little, but it still does hurt you when it comes to points, so keep that in mind. And if you're wondering, Tommy, why tell me all this stuff right here? The answer is, well, guys, this is the answer sheet to the test. Once you know exactly what the most important things are when it comes to your credit score, you know exactly how to manipulate it. And although you can manipulate it, I never recommend you miss a payment. But however, you can always have a high balance, but it all depends on why you have that balance, okay? So here's exactly step by step. By the way, last thing here is this, okay, guys? Before you say, Tommy, this is so complicated, it's so many things, 6 different things, I don't want to think about it. The answer is, guys, it's very simple. All you have to do is get a few credit cards, pay them off in full every single month, and your credit score will continue to go up as you age. That's the entire point here. It's not that complicated at all. Just don't miss any payments, don't get into collections, and don't borrow more than you can afford to pay off that same month right then and there. And make it a rule not to pay any interest whatsoever. And now, guys, number 2, here's exactly step by step what I did to get my credit score to a 755 in less than 8 months or so. Well, here's what happened step by step, okay? The first thing is that I'm not perfect. So when I did this, I did it for maybe not the best ethical reasons, but once you know the game, you can play the game, if you know what I mean, okay? Well, here's what happened. I knew for a fact that at the time, if I tried to apply to any credit cards, I wouldn't get accepted, okay? So what I did is this. I raised my credit score to a 730 by understanding how it works, which I already taught you, so you already know that. But what I did was, once I had a 730, I went ahead and I applied to over 5 to 6 different credit cards. Once I did that, I had over $13,000 in credit lines, and what I did was, I borrowed all that money in cash advances. Tommy, what is that? That means I went to a bank and I said like, hey, I want to take money out this credit card, and I took out the maximum they allow. How do you find out? Just call them and ask your credit card company, and that's how you know. And basically, that's what I did. Now, a little catch is this, guys, okay? Once I got all that money in cash, I made sure that every single credit card that I applied for did not charge me any interest for the first 12 months. And that's called, you're a new member, no interest. First 12 months is a promotion that they run, okay? That's what I did. Now tell me, why exactly would he take so much money out? And I can tell now that your credit score went up so much because your utilization went up so much. Because again, I basically took out all the money from my credit cards, which caused my balance to actually go up skyrocketed, okay? So what I did was this, very simple. I grabbed that money, and at the time I was doing, for example, drop shipping, selling phones, and also doing thrifting, or is it called drifting now? Thrifting, like when you go to places and you just get like Goodwills and stuff like that, and you put those items on eBay. That's what I was doing, okay? And garage sales, I did that, and I grabbed all that money and I invested it into those businesses. Now, in 1 year, okay, I managed to 4x to 5x my money, probably even more, and I paid all the money back without paying any interest. Now, this is called very dangerous. I don't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. And here's why it's so dangerous, okay? If I missed any payments, or if I went bankrupt, or if anything happened to me, that could have affected my entire credit history for the next like 7 to 14 years. So that's why you don't want to do what I did unless you know what you're doing and you know how to play the game. But what I did was, the trick was this, okay, guys? I said to myself, well, if I owe $13,000 and I want to make sure I pay it off every single week, well, I divided by 52 weeks because, you know, 52 weeks in 1 year, I need to pay every single week around $250. But in reality, just by flipping phones, I was making around $500 every single week. By doing drop shipping, I was making an extra like $500 to $1,000 every single week also, net. So just say like $500 also. And on top of that, by selling things on eBay, I was making an extra $300 every single week also. So in total, that is $1,300 from the money I borrowed. So in reality, once I paid the credit card, I got to keep around $1,050. So by the time I was done, guys, times it by 52, I made around $54,000 in 1 year, divided by 13,000, and that is how I 4 times the money that I got from the credit card companies. Now this is called dangerous. If you want to do it, go ahead. Do I recommend it? No, don't do it. So in summary, guys, it was an experiment to make more money. I did that. It's back up. And now I'm done doing that because I'm going to get into real estate. So that's my next experiment. So if you want to see how that affects my credit score, well, make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And as a summary, guys, the entire point is get different types of debts that you do need if you want to get it. For example, if you need credit cards, get them. Start with unsecured credit cards if you can't qualify for anything. You get those. By the way, I recommend Capital One, Discover, and also Sky Blue Card. Very good ones, but I recommend a Capital One and also like Discover first. Once you get those credit cards, also get, for example, a car loan or a mortgage as you need them. Don't get them just to like raise your credit score. Don't do that. It's not necessary. And once you do that, just try to pay it off every so month in full or whatever you can when it comes to that mortgage or that car loan, and then boom, you're good to go. Over time, you raise your score. It is very simple. But when it comes to credit cards, pay it off in full every single month, okay? Don't borrow more than you can afford to pay off. That's my rule, and that's how I did it, okay? And as always, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video right here, well, like this video, and that way I'll make more videos like this one. And on top of that, guys, make sure you guys click the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, which again is every single day. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram at TommyBryson. And here is the video on unsecured credit cards that I think you may actually like. And on top, look at my face right here to see what happens. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.